Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ava, and this week I'm going to be talking about some spring 2026 fashion trends, how I'm going to be integrating them with my Whimsigoth style, which is basically like a darker fairy, a founder update on my small business, and my March reset. I quickly wanted to talk about last week. I felt a little off. Affirmations can only do so much for me. At a certain point, especially midway through the semester, going through exams and hearing everybody else stressed around me, I start to compare myself and my work ethic. Whether that means it was burnout, maybe it was the full moon. We just went through the worm moon, which this March worm full moon signifies the end of winter, the thawing of the ground, and the reemergence of earthworms and beetle larvae, which is interesting because it is a sign of spring. It marks the returns of birds like robins feeding on worms as the soil warms. Anyway, I was talking to my friend about this and about how we've been feeling recently, just like feeling off, and I said maybe it's because of the moon. And you know what? It's probably everything. Overall, last week, I feel like I was chasing perfection instead of progress. I was so tunnel vision in making things perfect when it came to Ava's Armour and my social media, and towards the weekend, it made me feel guilty about not paying attention in my classes and doing the readings as much and really diving deep into the learning in my classes. And I feel like that happens to me every so often about the guilt that comes with not like diving deep into schoolwork. It's something that continues to return, so I can't take it too seriously, and I can only just be there for myself, give myself those good routines like going to the gym when I'm not on a time crunch like I did today. Recently, I got advice from another woman founder when I asked her, how do you not get lost in the sauce of your work? And she said that she finds her most productive times of the day. I feel like I'm making progress each week about talking to the camera, and I know I need to start looking into the lens more often. It just feels weird, but anyway. Overall, I didn't want this channel to feel like pressure added to my schedule. I wanted it to feel more like documentation and like a video diary. So I hope it feels like that. And then also we can talk about things that we like fashion, and that will make me feel like I'm up to date on the trends, especially being a fashion student. So let's get into it. Okay, so first off, we're going to talk about some colors. We all know that butter yellow was like all the rage for the past 2 years. And unfortunately, I think it's still here and gonna stay. But at the same time, we're combining butter yellow with darker or more earth tones, like a brown or like a lilac. And I think that's really gorgeous. I just sent my team from a class a pin from Pinterest that had Rachel from Friends in this one outfit that she had that was yellow and plum together. And I thought that was really cute. So let's get into the rest of the colors. I just had to preface, butter yellow is not new. We know that. Aquamarine, pistachio, lilac, and other optimistic colors. So for me, my style is more whimsigothic, and that's normally darker, deep plums, browns, and black and white lace. So I wanted to bring in color without losing the moodiness of my style. I was thinking of pairing things like butter yellow with dark brown leather, lilac layered with a neutral color, or even pistachio paired with army green, so you can really see that pop of spring color compared to a neutral. I feel like army green is like a neutral to me, I don't know. Pairing the pistachio sweater with a long dark skirt. And I recently just posted an Instagram reel. Follow me at Making Ava's Armour on Instagram as well, about being in the thrift store and searching for spring skirts. And I did just purchase a maxi skirt that was black, and it had these bright pops of gorgeous flowers on it. Loved it. Okay, so then for a mini outfit that I could plan, I'm thinking a fitted cream tee or tank like what I'm wearing right now. Gotta love the lace, with a brown or black maxi skirt, preferably brown, but I don't think I really have a brown maxi skirt. Some gold jewelry, and a sheer or colorful scarf. Another thing I'm thinking is you could put your hair in a flower claw clips. They are so adorable. That would really make it more springy too. That's another thing. I really really want to get into more hairstyles and just making my hair feel more exciting, something with it other than keep it down or put it in a ponytail or in braids whenever it gets greasy. And I think this works and fits my style because it's still romantic, it's slightly whimsical, and it still adds some of those spring colors in. Spring 2026 is saturated colors in soft power pastels. Take this with a grain of salt because I don't think pastel looks good with every skin tone. I was thinking about wearing a like baby pink t-shirt, and I don't know. Some colors I'm just not ready to wear, and I feel like most pastels go under that umbrella. Okay, the next trend that I'm seeing is some soft tailoring with a feminine structure. I feel like we've been seeing this for a little while now, especially when it comes to pinstripe pants. Everybody was loving that, and then trying to see how they can incorporate a blazer, especially with productivity videos. I know I've already mentioned Grace Beverly before, but literally anyone that she interviews also has a soft tailored blazer on as well, with just a plain baby tee underneath, like a white or black baby tee. So I feel like this trend of structure has been around for a little bit. Okay, so when I say this, relaxed blazers, draped skirts, wide leg trousers, and structure without stiffness. This pink blazer, I like it because it doesn't have the normal, whatever you call that. And I like that you can take that sweater look that everyone's been doing of buttoning the top button with this blazer. I feel like it's just a very soft blazer. Now, at the same time, the material of blazers, still not a love for me. I was thinking of wearing it for this video, and then I was like, I don't want to be uncomfortable the entire video, so I'm not going to. But anyway, yes, the soft look of this is definitely trending. A mini plug to Express because I got this blazer from them, and shout out them because I have an internship with them for merchandising this summer here in Columbus, and I'm so excited. I feel like that's really common in business casual wears. Like, how do you warm your outfits up instead of just being so like cold and businessy? So a mini outfit that I would put together for this trend of soft tailoring with feminine structure is an oversized blazer with a deep plum top and maybe a little lace top layered under the deep plum top. A little Elena Gilbert in there with some vintage light wash denim and a brown leather belt, brown leather shoes. I love that. It's warm. Also, I feel like that's something so perfect about Avas Armour and making the best sweat hiding tee, because going to work, women aren't afraid to take off their blazer if they have one of those stylish baby tees underneath, because it's still professional and you know that they're comfortable. Let's get into the last final trend, which is natural fibers and elevated sport. This is also from Business of Fashion Sustainability Reports and the growth of performance wool. Okay, so I found this really interesting because in my sports and fashion class, we actually had a guest speaker, and she was teaching us all about using wool, not in sweaters like how we would normally think, but in sportswear. Nylon may add more durability, and spandex may add more stretch. And mixing these different materials is very common to add structure. Something else really cool about wool is they found a way to color yarns without using water, which also reduced costs in sourcing wool for brands. This is getting into the product development side of wool specifically, but obviously being a future founder of a fashion brand, I love hearing about fabric, so I'm just gonna geek out about this for 1 minute. Wool takes a year to grow, and it's sourced at an auction, and 80% of Australian wool goes to China to get cleaned in Italy, in India, and labor of cleaning this wool adds a lot to the cost of buying it. And currency, so switching from Australian currency to China's or Italy's currency is another cost factor as well. Wool for performance apparel, the surface scales on a wool fiber make wool hydrophobic or water resistant. And they also have sebaceous and sweat glands, which keep dirt that the sheep would have on its body to the surface of the. Other cool things about wool is that it is naturally odor resistant. I would love to have for Avas Armour natural fabric. If that's not possible, recycled fabric. And even better would be a fabric that somehow solves something out in agriculture, nature, for humans, instead of doing more damage. So obviously I want to do more good than harm, along with making people feel happy about wearing it and feeling like they don't have to be upset about their sweat stain. So anyway, super interesting. If you ever are seeing something cool about new fabrics, I encourage you to ask about the downsides. Like for wool, the cost is a downside for it because like other topics out there in the world, you can hear all these amazing things and then need a neutralizing point of view where there's good parts and bad parts of everything. But I wanted to update that I have found a sweat hiding fabric that performs well under my standards, which is going to the gym, doing cardio and weightlifting, and see how much of a sweat stain appears. It is 100% cotton, which is so exciting because sustainability is hard to achieve. It's awesome to use, and I love that it works. So I told my small batch production facility about this fabric and wanting to use it, and I got a quote for the minimum order quantity 100-piece production that we could move forward with. So I am going to keep myself focused and my fingers crossed when it comes to getting some funding. Speaking of that, if you also have a small business and are looking for woman-based grants, my mom found this awesome website called powertopitch.com, and they have a grant calendar so you can see upcoming grants, and they also have videos that are posted on their YouTube about tips and tricks for your pitch deck and applying for grants and the type of verbiage that you should use. So that was really helpful. Another reason I'm talking about fashion and spring trends, not only because it's a new season, but because I wanted to start planning out my outfits the night before and really just in my evenings start having a routine. I feel like all of college I haven't had an evening routine. I would have a great morning routine of meditating while I'm still in bed, journaling maybe, doing my 10 minutes of yoga, making my favorite meal of the day, breakfast. I freaking love breakfast. I love a yogurt bowl with a Greek yogurt. Last year, I loved an oatmeal bowl. But that's besides the point. And I wanted to feel more intentional while walking to class. I am used to walking to class stressed. Even if I'm not running late, I'll be walking to class and I feel like I'm stuck in the mindset of everybody needs to get somewhere. Like when you walk slow, people are going to be annoyed behind you that you're walking slow. I don't want to care anymore if people think I'm walking slow. I don't want to feel rushed going anywhere. I don't need to, and I don't want to. So I wanted to start planning my outfits before the next day. I wanted to start feeling more intentional walking to class. So let's get my tools for the month ahead. My March reset. This is my 90-day dream planner. Yes. This is specifically for January through March. At the beginning of each month, they have a focus. You've done the inner work. You learn to believe again, to feel again, and to stay grounded in your emotional power. Now it's time to let desire lead. This month is about reawakening your longings, the dreams, visions, and creative impulses that light your soul on fire. Desire isn't something to resist or suppress. It's sacred guidance pointing you toward growth and purpose. When you reconnect with your desires, you reconnect with your aliveness. You begin to see the joy, beauty, and expansion aren't indulgent. They're evidence that you're in alignment with who you were created to be. As you open yourself to deeper desire, you'll notice fear and resistance rise. That's okay. Desire will always stretch you, but now you have the strength and emotional capacity to hold that stretch. Let your longings expand your faith, your creativity, and your willingness to dream beyond what you've known. This month, you begin living as the woman who knows what she wants and isn't afraid to believe what's possible. And then it went into beliefs to practice this month, like my desires are divine invitations calling me toward growth and joy. It's safe for me to want more. My desires are good. I follow what feels alive, not what feels expected. The energy of desire fuels every dream I create. I can hold the tension. This is my favorite one. I can hold the tension between where I am and where I'm going with peace. When I honor my desires, I honor the woman the universe or God created me to be. What I long for is already being prepared for me. The more I allow myself to want, the more alive I become. And then it had a few reflection prompts. So the ones I did was, what do I truly desire right now? physically, emotionally, spiritually, relationally? Where have I been playing small or settling out of fear? How do my desires reveal what matters most to me in this season? And what would my life look like if I fully trusted my desires as divine guidance? I felt like right now I truly desire emotional pride in my decisions. I want to experience trust and leniency with myself. I want to follow routines that make me feel joyful and abundant. I want to rediscover and heal my childhood self and connect with younger Ava. Relationally, I want to have more impromptu hangouts with friends. I want to love being creative. I want to take more breaks and be gentle with myself. I want to read more and remind myself of my undoubtable intelligence, which is a big sore spot for me. Is I always come back to a feeling of not doing enough, not being smart enough, taking the shortcut. My desires reveal that in this season, balance is most important to me. I want to pay attention to my sleep, eating habits, opportunities for breaks, my workflow, venturing out of the dorm, breathing deeper, exercising, setting my goals, reaching out to friends, and responding. If I fully trusted my desires, I'd be more carefree. I wouldn't wonder if I'm smart enough, I would know. I wouldn't wonder if I had the best body or ate the best, I'd know. I wouldn't feel lonely, I'd see my friends often. I wouldn't feel overwhelmed with work, I'd feel organized. I wouldn't wonder when my community will find me, I'd be responding to their comments. This month, I will consistently be mindful of the food and drinks I consume daily. I will feel unstoppable, sexy, smart, grown up, mature, strong, and determined. So, those are the results of my March focus reset. Other results that I said I wanted to create this month was have 3 coffee dates. I wanted to have 1 coffee date per week with someone. I want to work somewhere away from home every day. It's so easy to stay in the dorm and not go anywhere because it's my safe space. And especially in like gross weather, like, am I really the most productive in my dorm? No. I don't want to hear that because I love it in here and I love my little kitty cat, but I'm not the most productive in here. So I should probably leave every once in a while. I tried to keep my goals a little bit more attainable this month. I really just wanted to talk about it and come back to grounding myself in the purpose of this YouTube channel and my social media in general. Besides that little talk about spring trends, I really don't want to be like lecturing. I just want to feel like a friend that we can hang out and I can watch these videos back whenever I'm older and appreciate that I get to see my younger self. Spring is about alignment and rebirth. Figuring out a style that aligns for you, fabrics that align with your comfort and how you want to feel every day, time management that aligns for you. I think I still need to do a little bit of a reset, especially for my evening routine, on how to prepare myself for the best next day and just being more intentional because it's impossible to be perfect. And I always need that reminder for my head. Just being more intentional, more present, and more productive, like more honest with myself. But anyway, that's all I have for this week's video. I hope you guys have a great start to your March month. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being here. And I hope that you'll be here next week because I will. Anyway, if you are looking for where to follow along and stay updated, it's at Making Ava's Armour on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you wanted to read more about the beginning of my journey, I do have a website at avasarmour.com. So you could read some of my previous blogs. I think we're getting closer than ever to selling these t-shirts for people to see how they feel in them. Stay tuned. Happy spring. Hopefully the warm weather comes soon, and I will see you next week. Bye.